right, everybody. Well, welcome back to another episode of the Blazer Victory Podcast. John Duncan here. And of course, I'm joined as always with both of my co hosts, Jimmy Marion and Darian Smith. And we've got a football spring recap episode for you all today. Before we get dig into that content, this episode of the Blazer Victory Podcast is brought to you by Cahaba Brewing Company. You see the hats. Um, We've talked about them, great sponsor for years. Go on down to the tap room and try an Oka Uba IPA or a blonde. You can't go wrong with any of their core beers and also any of their seasonal offerings. The strawberry blonde's back in the tap room, I believe. So go on down. Tons of events. Like them on Facebook, but cahababrewing.com for the list of all events. But if you go down there, tell them that you heard about Cahaba on the Blazer Victory podcast. That helps us out a lot. Speaking of helping us out a lot, YouTube, shout out to YouTube, Blazer Pod on YouTube. Please like and subscribe, comment. All the things you need to do. But primarily, we are still eagerly chasing that goal of 400 subscribers before we get kickoff for football season this year. So, with all that out of the way, guys, 2025 UAB football spring practice has concluded with the spring game at the Legacy Pavilion this past Saturday. Um, I, I guess we haven't heard a lot. um, But we have heard good things about this UAB defense. This defense, under new defensive coordinator Steve Russ, um, got some new guys, some returning. Our boy Eddie Tewsome showed out in the spring game. Um, but this defense is predicted to be a lot better than the years past under previous defensive coordinator for UAB. So a lot of good things on the defensive side of the ball. Offensive side of the ball, we're just gonna say there's some question marks, and that's okay. We're not gonna overreact. Hey, the landscape of college athletics and especially basketball and football, especially in football in particular. Hey, we could have a freaking new roster coming into the fall. It's not meant to, hey, overreact. In each offense, defense, special teams are position groups, but we're gonna say, hey, there's some question marks, especially on that offensive line. But Jimmy, I want to throw it to you first. What is just your overall uh, taking points from what you've read and saw and heard about this 2025 UAB football team coming out of spring?
Yeah, I'm going to repeat a couple of things that you stated, and then I'll be curious, like of any of the topics that I mentioned, which one maybe Darian would choose for us to spend a little bit more time on. But when I think about some of the takeaways, you mentioned it. Offensive line is going to be a point of emphasis for us to discuss now and moving forward, because hopefully what we're going to see is some additions via the transfer portal coming up. That's going to be a must. We've got several spots available, and that will give us a little bit more peace of mind if we're able to do that. So, number one is the offensive line. There's been just a mixture of injuries as well as departures. So we lost a guy like Zaire Flournoy, who is in the portal. I should say we lost him currently, right? And we lost a guy like Jordan Hall um, at tackle, who's going to University of North Carolina. So those are two just right off the bat. I may be missing others that were recent, but you've got some injuries too. I was looking at some photos from the spring showcase. I saw some boots. I saw some people and not in pads, so they were low on numbers, which I envision made it pretty difficult to kind of install everything on the offensive side of the ball. So all eyes are on the offensive line first and foremost. And we've got a former offensive lineman on here, John. I mean, I'm just kidding, Darian. Uh,
Hey,
but
now I did.
anyway,
Hey, I played center in high school,
there
so
you go.
I guess I'm middle school
All
and high
right.
school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. But other like just big picture things, I mean, it seems as if, which isn't necessarily a surprise, but it seems like Ryder Burton, the guy that started out at BYU and West Virginia's came in and somewhat secured that backup, quarterback position, which is good. You always want to have that next man up. You want to have some confidence if worst case scenario, something were to happen to the starter. Um, at running back, it seems as if you've got somewhat of a three-man committee, that being BB and Jacobs and who am I forgetting off the top of my head?
Yeah, we'll clarify Solomon BB. We'll
Solomon BB.
clarify
We don't want to get people too excited
Younger
about
BB. BB's back.
that.
we got
Right.
we got brother BB as well as Isaiah Jacobs and Javon
Javon
Jackson.
Jackson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
excuse me. Yeah, Javon Jackson,
Amari, what's his
Armani Goodwin.
no, Burbridge, the
Oh,
fresh.
Bunrich. Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Goodwin transferred out. I thought is where you were taking that. But yeah, we got another guy that you just mentioned. So I kind of think about like a three-man committee at running back. At wide receiver, I think you've got a collection of guys, hopefully led by like a Corey Milliner. But I know we had a transfer mentioned during the spring showcase that performed well. So on the offensive side, tight end group is a question mark for me. Just we've got a lot of new faces there, but on the offensive side, Darian, I think everything starts with that offensive line because way more than the two of us. If you don't have an offensive line that can block, that can pass protect, that can create, running lanes, it's going to be difficult no matter how talented your quarterback is, and even some of those skill guys for this offense to move up and down the field.
Yeah. So I know y'all probably caught some of the NFL draft. And I would ask both of y'all, like, what position groups were flying off like hotcakes during the draft? It's two of them, and then they are very premium.
I mean,
And
it's got to be
Offensive
O-line is
line,
one of them,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
yeah,
tackle.
and defensive line. Yeah.
offensive line and defensive line. What you can't get enough of is protecting the quarterback.
Hey, Shador did get drafted, right? I
Yeah,
don't want
eventually to the Browns, which is
to.
weird, but that's a whole other topic. But yeah, but the two positions you can't get enough of doing is protecting the quarterback and getting to the quarterback. So you want those guys, like you see what Jordan Hall is like. Jordan Hall didn't even start the whole season. Like it was a
Mhm.
redshirt freshman. He got in sparingly. He was still developing. He had not arrived yet. He got an offer from North Carolina. These guys are in demand. If you show that you have some size and you have some mobility, teams are like, you know what, give him 90K.
Take a
Give him
chance.
100.
Yep.
Give him 100K. This guy, it seemed I've seen enough tape. I've seen enough potential. That's all they need. And they are out of here. So it scared me already. Like we saw Flournoy hit the portal, right? I'm like, okay, we still got guys like he was in and out. Jordan Hall hurt. Jordan Hall, he was the guy that if you go back to last year, Paz, we was like excited to see him get in. He was once committed to Colorado when Dion first got there, and then we got him and we saw the size. And we did for I do give the staff this, they developed him. Like he dropped the weight. You see the muscle tone started coming on. When he first came, it was like he was kind of, for lack of better words, he was kind of soft because he didn't really understand like the physicality and how to get down and explode out of his hips. Then all of a sudden, he developed. He was a player. I'm like, look at the future. You know, other teams said, "What future? That's our future." Bill Belichick said, "No, that is our future. We like him young, just like he like his girlfriend, right?"
I was about to
Hey,
say
you
if
say,
Jordan Hall has he watched that interview because if he's dealing with
bro.
that every day, I mean that's just
The
weird.
interview, the interview asked how they met, and she was like, "Don't
Mm-mm,
respond to that." Like,
mm-mm.
what? Come on
How
now. Did you
that's
see
that's a
that?
question you
What?
like. Man, did
You'd
they meet
ask
online?
anybody, like, how did you meet your other person? I mean, it's
They,
just like,
they must have
what?
met online in one of them sites, one of those sites.
Well, then Robert Crafts, you know, met at one of those
Well,
locations. We're gonna get
maybe they
banned
were.
from YouTube.
Right.
Maybe that's how the same way they see he searched for her is how he searched for Jordan Hall. He was looking for young offensive tackle. He was looking for some young.
Get a certain body type. He likes that. He likes that tone. You think she can pass, bro? I don't know.
He probably plays center for him, but all right, we gotta chill. Okay,
We're
back to the
getting
Hey,
topic.
banned.
we are on a new device, our recording software that we have got a time limit. We can't go in
Oh
an
yeah,
hour and a half per
yeah.
episode.
Yeah, I don't know what are you doing, bro. But anyway,
Offensive line,
yeah,
offensive line.
offensive line. Yeah, so we had the future set up. Bill Belichick took the future. He's a cradle robber, and okay, bam. So we don't like we have redshirt freshman guys. We have guys with good potential.
Yeah.
What's the offensive lineman that recruited that was probably one of the highest rated recruits that we had at
Barry
tackle?
Walker.
We got
Walker.
guys like Barry Walker, but the thing is he has no playing experience. He was a true freshman. These guys didn't get in. We got a couple guys like that. So here we go with just almost a whole new offensive line. Who do we have recording? The guy from South Carolina.
I think these are guys, Darian. Like I'm looking at Caleb Perez, who came from Duke. You know, dealt with
Yep.
injuries. If he's healthy, like he
And
could play a
I'm
significant
hearing that
role.
he's 100%.
Yeah, Baron Franks, who was in the portal but came back. He's someone that was team captain at Norfolk State, was with the team last year. He's someone I expect to be involved. JD Morgan, is who you were just
JD
he's
Morgan.
got a lot of experience. And then after that, you've got the unknown, you got the question marks. You just mentioned Barry Walker. You've got Jaden Ligon, who the staff was high on, but got injured in preseason last year. You've got Logan Moore, who I think is in year three.
Yeah, he got
Um,
a couple reps. He looked pretty good at
yeah,
tackle.
yeah. After that, I don't really know.
You have guys like A Train.
A Train, I think he was one of the guys. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I don't know if he was involved in the showcase or not. I thought I saw him and Cade Martin and Mason Turok that weren't dressed out, but I could be wrong on that.
Okay, I'm pretty sure him and Cade Martin probably like somewhere in the middle of playing, like on the two deep.
Hmm.
We have guys like I just had it on the tip of my tongue. So many new guys, bro. We got a lot of, but I want to say Logan Moore did get a couple of reps. He looked good at tackle, 6'7" type of guy.
Hmm.
Had to develop his body. We got guys that's still there. And Trent talked about him last year was Ryan
Mhm.
Gunter about like developing like how he was like a 3-4 year plan type of guy, right? He's still there, you know. And after that, it gets real murky, bro. Like I don't we didn't get anybody out the portal. I don't believe, which is like the most upsetting thing. It's like we couldn't
Mm.
get an offensive lineman out of the portal. So,
Well,
um, go ahead,
well,
John.
well, I was gonna
Yeah.
say there's gonna be another chance too. I know Trent said, last year, these late portal additions really the data suggests that it might not be as good as bringing them in earlier, getting them in before or by the spring. But I mean, they're gonna have to hit the portal big time.
But think
Um,
about this. I want to say on that note, I'm looking at this in real time, uh, and I don't think there's one offensive lineman that we have on our roster that um, played in JUCO. Is that
hmm.
not crazy when you think about that? How heavily this program was built on JUCO talent, and right now it is freshmen and it is transfers. We don't have to live exclusively in the port. In fact, we've talked about it on some recruiting shows, right? Like to be able to go out and get guys at the JUCO level that are grown, that are ready, to contribute. We saw it so successful on the offensive line and defensive line. There's not, unless I'm wrong, I'm looking at it, I don't think we have one offensive lineman that played JUCO.
Jimmy, especially in this climate, because you know
Hmm.
what JUCO guys are really hungry for. Because I'm a JUCO guy, I'm a former JUCO guy. You
Hmm.
know what the
Opportunity.
Opportunity. That is what JUCO guys are looking for. We may leave in this climate, we may leave after a year, but everybody does. Everybody
Right.
does. But if you look at AK and you look at basketball, he hits JUCO. That's where we got
Hmm.
Yaks and Christian Coleman, and that's where we got most of the team we have this year because
Right.
guys are hungry for opportunity. And if you give them that opportunity, they're grown, right? They're growner, like if that's a word, and they can get out there and they can make an immediate impact. I don't understand the recruiting philosophy, especially I would think, especially in the trenches. I would think that you would take that talent to JUCO, where we got some of our best linemen under Clark. Almost all of our best linemen came from JUCO, offensive and defensive line, right? Like we were talking about the bounce back guys looking for another opportunity that probably messed up or probably got in some kind of trouble on the offensive and defensive line under Clark were our best guys, and we just have not followed that model so far with Trent here, and I don't understand it. I do think we had a plan at first with the young guys, and we're gonna come in and they were gonna develop them, but then we lost our recruiting coordinator and Trishan, who moved on. And then the plan, I don't really know what the plan is in the trenches now. I don't know if it's more portal heavy. I'm not really even sure. And then we already said in this climate, you can't develop guys. Stop wasting time. Stop, especially in the trenches. Stop. Because guess what? What we paying them here? Maybe 20, 25K, right? Maybe
If
that's a
that, if that.
stretch. You get paid 150K as a left tackle to go P5. I would leave too,
Yeah.
right? So why even waste your time? Give me the oldest freaking 25, 24-year-old freaking lineman you can get that got a lot of experience, that played probably D2 and then looking for an opportunity, or that played in JUCO and third year JUCO guy. You see a couple of those for whatever reason, like guys that had to go
Yeah.
to military school and everything. Give me those guys, man.
Hmm.
Because what I'm hearing on the defensive line, in contrast, you hearing guys like Jermichael Rogers and Denver Warren. You're hearing about them having great springs, right? And I love that. I love that. But what I'm scared of is it that they're having a really great spring, or is our offensive line group really not that good?
It's a very valid question, one I've been thinking about as well. But the caveat is like, I like what this defensive staff did on the defensive line. So I lean towards that and say, you know what? I'm going to lean towards, because there's all kinds of stuff that we could say, like, that I could, complain about. But I want to choose a positive attitude about this defensive line, and I want to trust because I like what they did. I like what they did in the secondary too, Darren. And I just really I don't get the shift. Like if our offense, we talked about last year, I think, or go whenever we were talking about it, that we were like, man, if the defense can just make a little, can we be 100 in the country,
Mm-hmm.
but not 130 something? And then because offense, we're gonna be okay. Like we feel good about where we are. And I feel like ever since there was one random, I think, Patreon where I was like, I'm not worried about offense. Like, and ever since then, I feel like it's just been like a slow kind of like, what's going on? You've got the turnovers, then you've got not just turnovers on the field, but the turnover in talent, and then like now the offensive line. And it's like, it just feels like we're kind of going backwards. And I never envisioned that. Like, I just
But
really thought,
Jimmy, so one thing you did spoke on real quick that just
yeah,
ignited something. You said, you said I would rather believe, like I'm gonna rather believe positively, right?
mm,
But we did that 2 years straight with the
right.
staff. Now, and I'm being real. I'm
Yeah.
being real, and I think if the staff would understand, they would understand that somebody is being very honest with them.
Yeah.
Why should I
Yeah.
trust that? And I don't. And for what it's worth, this is what I give the credit because I've spoken with people. This is why I give them credit. They're saying, no, we have to earn your trust. I understand because y'all, we were kind of like, hey, we got these two defensive tackles and they came in. This one came in from Ole Miss and this guy came from Indiana. We done filled these holes. Look at these guys. We got a safety,
Mm.
right? We have filled these holes and we are ready to. And then Tulane came to
Oh,
Protective Stadium and we looked like a junior high team.
Shoot,
And
before that, ULM took it to us. I
yeah,
mean,
you What are we doing?
With a
And what
JUCO
did
on the
you?
O
What
line,
is
D
BV
line.
doing? BV is going JUCO heavy. ULM ain't got no money.
But this is where I come in. So with all of our gripes, right, Jimmy, John, we still like what they've done to the defensive staff. We
Yes.
Hmm.
still like what they've done to the defensive line. I
Maybe a year too
love
late, but I agree.
I love what they have done at linebacker. I love hearing what about Eddie Toosom and Calvin Pritchard and Eli Ennis and
Mm.
all of these type of guys. And then I love hearing about all of these DBs. What's the one we had from last year from Minnesota that seems to be doing well now?
Oh, is
I
it
can
Tyreek Watson? Is that his name?
Yeah,
Ty.
Tyreek
Yep.
Watson, and the Tamarian Crumpleys, all
Hmm.
these type of guys. The Josh Bacchus at safety that we brought in, right? And I'm just like, and then we got Sarad Bryant, and all. We got
Yeah.
those guys back.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can see, I could sell myself on that, but I'm not. I'm not gonna sell myself on that because I'm like, no, I did that. Your staff, Trent Dilfer, has to earn that.
Mhm.
What I'm saying is we all can give him an opportunity to earn it though. We don't have to trust. And I don't, like I said, in our interviews, they're not saying, come out and we're gonna do this. I think he learned from that. And it's kind of like, nah, we getting better each day. We got a lot to work on. So I'm like, cool. I'm hearing that the defense good. Is it? Is it? I don't trust it right off the bat, but do I see the vision? Do I see the pieces? I see pieces. I see pieces. Is it? Is the new staff? I'm hearing a lot about the new staff and the professionalism, NFL caliber, defensive line. Steve, like all of this. I'm like, yeah. I say, okay, all right, okay. After our first game, who we got? Like what? Like our first conference game is like what, Navy?
Navy week 2. Yeah.
They talk about what they talked about with under
Hmm.
Steve Burst. Oh, he's so to the triple option. We're going to be way better with that. Okay,
Oh, we
all
gonna
right.
see. We gonna see.
You know what happened these past 2 years when we played playing.
I've been there. I've been there, brother.
Yeah,
I've been
John's
there.
traveled to some service academies. He's
You
I
been
went
ain't
to
there.
both
traveling.
of
I
them,
ain't
John.
traveling this year, bro. I ain't
John was
traveling this
there.
year.
When he's
Yeah.
asked, were you there? John was there at the
Yeah.
service academies.
Hey, listen, hey, real quick though, you talk about we talk about hearing things like where is it in the media? There is relatively no coverage of this football program, none whatsoever. Have they?
That's
Yeah.
Go ahead,
I,
sorry.
well, no, I was gonna say we were banned from doing it. I mean, we water over the what was it? Water over the bridge.
Water under the
We don't
bridge.
even care. Yeah, water under the bridge. We don't even care to do that anymore. But where is the coverage about this football program?
Can we
Because
say right now?
John, because what you just said, we haven't, Jimmy, have we said anything unfair?
No.
Have we said anything
We were pretty
without
mad. We were
merit?
pretty mean about Bill Belichick. I'm gonna be honest about that. That was kind of.
Hey man, that dude gets how many Super Bowl rings?
Can
And he
somebody
got
get him a shirt without holes in it? I mean,
the
hey, but here's something I wanted to clarify was that I think I'll speak for myself. I wanted to hear less about from coach and from others about what we're gonna do and all this stuff. But I didn't ask for no coverage, period. Like you can give me the information, give me the
yes.
facts. Like I appreciate we did receive some statistics, like even something small, like so and so went 7 of 9. Like give me the facts and let me make my assumptions and build my opinion off of that. Don't give me nothing. There's a
Nothing.
difference,
I have
right?
no idea who was hurt during the scrimmage. I wasn't able to
No.
go, but I have no. If you wouldn't, I don't have any idea who was hurt. I don't really. You don't really get a good feel of like how it was conducted, right? You have it a
Mhm.
little bit, um, but I just like you said, it's kind of like I forgot Caleb Brown was a wide receiver transfer that was a big time guy that we had that we were looking forward to. How did he do? Did he do anything? The only guy I heard about was one of the transfer, Evan McCray, I believe. It's the only
Yeah.
one I heard about. Did Corey Milliner play? Did he do well out there? I saw something about BJ Hawkins, right? So I don't. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't have as incomplete on the offense. I don't know
Mhm.
who's the lead back. I don't know if Javon Jackson has took the reins. I don't know anything about the offense. I don't know the too deep with the offensive line. So I can't really tell you about what position on the offensive line looks good or do we have any good run block. I don't know anything. So I guess we're just hoping for the best.
I know real quick we're gonna talk about this UAB new logo. Well, actually, let's just go there. Oh, we have 10 minutes left. I just got the notification, Jimmy. We were asking on the chat. We hey again, the previous software that we used no longer available. So we're trying some new software. Hopefully it looks good on YouTube. Fingers crossed. We're praying. But we're gonna jump real quick to the logo discussion. But just to sum up spring, it's we'll see in the fall. Like we're, roster moves, they're gonna happen shortly if they aren't happening already. I know. I think uh, Trent Dilfer said that only 55 players were available. I heard that was the number was less than that. Um, so
I,
they're
I can actually I can ask you this, John.
yeah.
What are you expecting with the limited information? So just not even expect it was something that you are hoping for from each like from the offense or the defense. Just I would like to know kind of from both of you guys.
Real quick, I want to know what they're talk from what we've heard. They're talking up this defense. And yeah, it's going to be improved from what they did the last 2 years. But this offense, we are going to need to see at least 20 points per game. Can we get there? Can we get some big fellas up front from the portal, or D2, a JUCO, hopefully? But it's obvious. Like we're going to need some big fellas up front on the offensive line. I think defense is okay. Really just portal heavy for the offensive line and skill positions.
I think what I want to happen before I talk about what I expect, what I want, and what we need, honestly, is at least three offensive linemen that can play, like that are ready to go. I would argue that you might have to get five, but not that are all ready to go, but you might need somewhere between three to five. If we don't, it might be over with offensively. Like honestly, like I mean, it
From the
literally
jump.
it might be over with. Like I'll be scared on Thursday night, for the opener. Like we have to. Like we've got some guys. We've got some guys. I like Perez. I like
Yes.
Franks. I like Morgan. I like the upside of Ligon and
Walker.
Gunter. Gunter.
yeah, a
Um,
few of these guys. But so we've got to add a few. Offensively, Darian, what I'm hoping for the most is to limit turnovers, and specifically
Ah,
from the quarterback
you
position.
took mine. You took
Yeah,
mine.
I want to limit turnovers. And then on the defensive side, I want to be able to improve the run defense. I'm tired of looking at the statistics and seeing us give up 6.5 yards a carry. And what we're hearing is that we've got, an improved defensive line. I don't know if in this defensive scheme, if we're gonna I don't know if we're gonna just become automatic this team that's like getting after the quarterback a lot. I think I've heard them talk a good amount about, looking for those opportunities. Primarily, I think that I want to look at focusing on stopping the run, and that's what I would like to see on defense. Special teams, we didn't talk about it. Special teams, I feel like we're solid. We saw John Jones on that special team staff last year make some improvements there. We've got
yes.
our kicker, we've got our punter coming back. I expect us to be solid in that area we were last year. But defend the run on defense and then not turn the ball over on offense are going to be two key focus areas.
So yeah, we went all in on Kitna, right? And but I pivot. That was gonna be my main one. Do we see improved play from Kitna? And does he turn down on the cut down on the turnovers and can actually go win the game versus like lose it with
Giving
a
it away.
turnover,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
But what skilled guy comes out of the group of the bunch? We know about Corey Milliner. Has he really arrived? Is he really the guy? Or is it one of
Mm.
these receivers? Or is it Solomon Beebe? or is it Javon Jackson? Does one of those make that leap as the guy? And then on defense, can we finally start getting to? Can we pass rush? Right? Does the we talk about the Jermichael Rogers and we talk about the versatility of like Eddie Tusom. We saw we lost my guy Emmanuel Waller to the portal.
Ah,
Stuff
tough
like
loss
that. That
to
that
South
hurts
Alabama in state.
to
I mean,
South Alabama. So it's more to it. Does guys like Denver Warren or the guy, what's the big time defensive lineman we brought in from
Maury Morrison.
mhm.
Amari Morrison? Does any of those guys step up? Or we brought back some guys on the D line, right? If I'm not
Yep.
mistaken.
Yeah.
You got
Um
Jonathan Allen, you got Iman Smalls, you got
Iman
some developmental
Smalls.
guys. Yep.
Yeah, so we got guys like that. Can we get to the quarterback this year? I would like to see.
Mr. Marion, talk about this logo change.
Yeah. So for our listeners and for anyone that cares about UAB, you probably saw some of the, for lack of better terms, drama. I mean, deservingly so, about a post by the UAB Football X account about some merch. And so since then, I did speak with someone at UAB and I received some information that I wanted to share with everybody and just let you know what I learned. So at the end of the day, what I'm about to say is not to change your opinion about what happened or about what is happening at UAB. But what I can appreciate is when someone's willing to share information with me and again, allow for me to take that information and formulate my own opinion. We're going to formulate our own opinions anyway, but having more information and more context, I think is helpful. So that's what I was hoping to do today, real quick. What I learned in my conversation with someone at UAB was that this UAB logo, and I'm talking about the letters, the UAB letters. We'll talk about the dragon logo here in a second. But this whole logo conversation about the UAB dates back to 3 years ago. So previously, the university had a UAB logo, the hospital had a UAB logo, the athletic department had a UAB logo, and there was an idea. Someone had an idea to say, let's have one logo across those different arms of UAB. The person I spoke with, the UAB, did say that they were vouching during this conversation for the existing UAB logo, but ultimately all parties agreed to go with the new UAB logo that y'all have seen in these social media accounts, where they just essentially, in their opinion, straightened out the A. So all of that happened sometime like in mid-March. There was some brand relaunch initiative, and that's when you saw all these accounts change from their existing logos to this new UAB logo. What I was told was that is a temporary thing. It was just an opportunity for everybody to be on the same page, to have the same UAB logo. UAB is going to continue to have the Dragon logo. So the Dragon logo is going to be in the merch, going to be in the fields, going to be in the courts, going to be in the helmets. The UAB Dragon logo is not going anywhere. I did see someone post an image of some merch that was for sale, I think at the spring showcase, and I saw some of the Dragon logo on some of the memorabilia as an example. Regarding the post made by the UAB football account on X, UAB contracted that out to Jungle Sports. It's called a pop-up store. So essentially, like they do this with a bunch of different schools where they will pop up a store and then they'll keep it open for like a week and then they take it down. That's exactly what happened. So it was only open for a week. The person I spoke with at UAB understands it was done poorly. There's no getting around it. The mock-ups were not good. Looked like a child did it. All right. So nobody's saying that it didn't. But they did tell me that they addressed it and they told me that they rectified the situation and it's not going to happen again.
I would like
Um,
for our staff the administration to listen to the fans from the start. That's
yep.
all. That's all. If we can say something on that, if we
Yes.
all of the hey, we understand our mistakes. Yeah, that's cool, but that's getting old. Let's just
Hmm.
let's just like get it right from the jump.
Yep. So to summarize all that, Blaze, the Dragon logo, isn't going anywhere. The pop-up store was not executed well. It's been addressed. It shouldn't happen again. And I do, for what it's worth, trust the person I spoke with. They didn't. They were more than willing to share information. Again, I just want to give everybody information. That way you can do with it as you will.
Well said, Mr. Marion. Well, with that being said, we will catch you next time on the Blazer Victory podcast. And also stay tuned Patreon, patreon.com/blazerpod. BVP out.